Mrs. K. So I created what is called a screencast to sort of show you what I created and how to use it. So yeah, and if you like this sort of screencast idea, I can also show you how to use this so that you can use it for your own classes and whatnot. So basically what I went ahead and made is your own website. So if you look up here, it's mkazlauskas.weebly.com. And so what it basically is then I created a web quest with it, which you can see here. And I know web quests are used in some of the other classes. I don't know if you've used one yourself, but basically it's a way to create sort of a guided trip through a specific subject with resources that you pick yourself. And so it's just really a way for the kids to use technology to learn about a specific subject rather than just being in the classroom and learning it that way. And so the first page is the introduction page, and this is sort of explaining what it is. So the point of this web quest that I created was to learn about the weather, like you asked me to do, and then filming a newscast, which will be described later. And so then what I also put on this itself is another screencast. That's what I'm making right now. And this shows the students how to go through and use the web quest. But I wanted to create your own screencast that I can more specifically tell you how to use it as an instructor. And then down here are the standards. Yeah, it's the Illinois standards. I don't know if those are the exact standards that you use, but I had to put them on there. So then after the introduction page, there is the task page. And so, you can read it yourself, but basically what I said is that it'll be, each person will be paired up with a partner like you usually do, and then those two people will then be working in a group with 4 to do a newscast. But for the web quest, to keep it a little bit smaller and allow it to work more in the computer lab, I did pairs of 2. So each person will then go through this web quest. You can have them go through it individually or with their partners, but basically they're going to take notes throughout this web quest, and then at the end of the week doing a 2 to 5 minute presentation. And so basically what I said is your group will be presenting it together, and each pair of 2 people must present on a different region. So I know that you like to do specific countries, so my example was student 1 and student 2 will be researching Madrid, while student 3 and 4 will do Barcelona. And so yeah, basically it makes more sense as you read the entire thing through, and if you have any questions you can just text or email me and I'll respond. And I said make sure to include vocabulary and a visual aid. And then here we have the vocabulary. I took the document that you gave me and I created a Google Doc, which the students may know how to use or not. Basically, it was just a way to embed it onto the website itself, so that it's a little bit more interactive. So it's all the vocab words that you gave me, and so it's just like this, and you can scroll down, which is pretty nice. And then I went ahead and just conjugated the verb tener for them and included all the definitions. So this is filled out, but the students can print it out as a study guide or go back to look at it if they're making their presentation and can't remember what a specific word was, or if they don't have their book, they can access this website from any internet source. So that's really useful, I think, because there are sometimes, I remember from last year, that students would forget their book and then say that they didn't do their homework or whatnot because they didn't have the vocabulary. So this is specifically just with the vocabulary. The next page I created was the process. Now this is basically the web quest itself. So for the first step, I said go ahead and click on weather forecast and sort of see what the weekly forecast is going to be for the specific area. So for example, here I already put in Caracas, Venezuela, and then you can just go to extended forecast, and it tells them exactly what's going to happen, and they can write that down themselves and use this specifically, or they can go off of this and be like, oh, well, the weather is around 70 degrees usually during this time, or something like that. So it was kind of difficult to create an interactive weather map, but this can sort of work in the same way for the students to learn about where the weather is, and all they need to do is look up the area. It already comes with Bloomington, but yeah, they can just look up the area that they want to do their research on. So there is that. And then, like I said, that should only take about 5 minutes, and then the students would move on to step 2. So they are really doing this individually, and then you can follow around and see if they have any questions. So step 2, I used your Quizlet flashcards. So this can sort of be like how on Thursdays you go in the computer lab and you have them go on Quizlet and whatnot. This can be an entire day in the computer lab. This shouldn't take more than 40 minutes, this entire process. And I even thought about how there's going to be time to go into the computer lab and back out to log out and everything like that. So I try to make this entire web quest last no longer than 35 minutes. So, like I said, I'm here, spend no more than 10 minutes so the students can go through and play whatever games they want to play and whatnot. So there's that. And then for step 3, there was this video. I thought it was hilarious and it's super catchy. I still have it stuck in my head even though it's been about 2 weeks since I first found this clip. And so yeah, so basically it's a fun little clip. In order to use the web quest in the classroom, the students will need some sort of headphones or something like that, or you could play this on the smart board for everybody, maybe make this step 1 instead. Because then what I said is that with you and your partner on a separate sheet of paper, write at least 5 phrases that are used in the video to describe what the weather is like. And so I figured that this can make sure that the students are paying attention throughout the web quest, and then they can turn it in at the end. And then in step 4, I found this video, and I thought it was really nice. It's kind of like a listening section pretty much. And it's a video just of a woman describing what the weather is like in Granada. And so here is the video itself. You can listen to it.
El clima en Granada.
Okay, it does have the dialogue here. There was no way to really avoid having that stay there, but if you click on the N, it doesn't show up anymore, but I mean, if the students already see that, they already see it. But basically then what I said is on the same sheet of paper as step number 3, go ahead and write a short paragraph, 3 to 4 sentences to explain what the weather is like in Granada. And so I figured that would help them prepare for the listening section, which will be on the test and whatnot. And then step number 5 is a quiz, which I thought was really cool. I made this using Google Forms. And I am going to actually hook this up to your email, so all responses will go straight to your email. So you will be able to grade this for accuracy or completion, whatever works for you. And it will show all the answers. So yeah, so put you and your partner's names, and then I have a few questions that they can go ahead and answer based on the weather. Lastly, we have the evaluation page. So I made a rubric with a website called iRubric, which I can also show you how to make this if you are interested in this in the future. But I really wanted to explain this part because this part can get a bit confusing. So for the rubric, what I figured it would be is the web quest is worth 15. I don't know why it's not scrolling down. The web quest is worth 15% of the total grade for this weather forecast project. So what will be included for the web quest grade is those sheets of paper that they had to write it on, and the quiz. And so I did a little bit of things here. So then what it would be like, for example, if the student were to get excellent, you would take 100 points and multiply it by the 15%, so it would be worth 15 points total. And if they didn't do as well, it would be worth math. I forgot the exact number, but basically that's the point. And then for the visual aid, same sort of thing. If they do excellent, then it's 10 or 100 points times 10%. So that would be 10 points, and it continues. Pronunciation, so if they get 100 or all the points, then it would be worth 20 points because you multiply it by the 20%. How they use vocabulary, which is worth 25%, and then forecast content, which is worth 30%. You could change the rubric as you like, but this is just the one that I created. this website can still completely be changed. So if you do want to change anything, just let me know. Or if you want to like exact rubric, I can go through and change any of this. So like this is basically entirely for you. So whatever you want me to do, I can do it for you. And lastly, we have the conclusion page, and this is just saying like start working on your forecast. You can go ahead and give them more information about exactly what they need to do for the project. So the web quest is basically gaining the information and working on the vocabulary so that at the end of this web quest, the students will be better prepared to create a forecast. And here are all my links that I used throughout this entire thing, including pictures and whatnot. So yeah, I hope this video sort of better explained what this web quest is for. I think one of the most confusing pages will be the process page and the rubric that I created, but I tried to better describe it here. If you have any questions, text me or email me, and I can also show this in person to you if it gets better. I only have like 3 more weeks of school, so I'm almost home. And yeah, so I'm going to send you all of this right now, and I hope it works for you. And if not, I can show you how to make a website like this in the future. I know like you always say that you're not very tech savvy, but I promise you this was so easy to create that honestly it's like greatest invention ever. So okay,